Good evening, everyone. I am Julo Biliran, a Redemptorist, third-year theology student. There was a young little boy at the age of 6 or 7 when he was asked by his relatives what he wanted to become. And they asked, "What do you want to become when you grow up?" The little child said, "I wanted to become a priest." And he briefly explained the answer to the question, and that has become his dream since then. It all started with an attraction, then it turned into a dream, and now becoming a reality. It was I who briefly explained. When I was a child, I have always been attracted to those religious articles I saw at home and in churches. I would witness my grandmother in her piety praying the rosary at evening. Her witnessing had a great impact that I began to dream of becoming a priest. I remember I used to play as one, taking off our blanket, covering my shoulder, holding up a cross, and playing that what I want to be when I grow up. I was a kid who dreamed to become a priest. And in that, God's grace started to work. I grew up in a family, a typical ordinary family. My parents were not that very religious. They are Sunday church goers, yes, but they are not those active ones in the parish or in the diocese. I was born and raised here in Davao, just a few kilometers away from this church, and studied in Assumption, which had also played a very important role in fostering my vocation in those formative years. As a young kid, I joined activities in our GKK. It was there that my attraction started to grow. I joined the altar servers in our parish and enjoyed the company of friends and the joy of Sunday service in the church. Came a time early in high school that those childhood whims and wishes were not so much entertained. I wondered on some other possibilities and enjoyed what it was to be a high school student. Just like any other teenage lad, I entered into a relationship. Perhaps many of you can identify with that moment in life when we are called to decide what we're going to do. Mine came early. In third year high school, along with my friends, we started to ask what we wanted to take in college. My childhood dreams started to come into my consciousness again. It was then that I met very hospitable people who helped me look into my vocation. I met a priest, a seminarian, and a vocation promoter. With a vocation promotion done in our school, I decided to join the searching experience with the Redemptorists. With a growing interest in me, I took the exam and I told my parents about it. They were very supportive, as they always were. Yet, my mother gave me a second thought. She told me maybe I wanted to take up a course in college before entering. Maybe she was afraid that I might not finish the seminary days. She's afraid that somehow I might not have any fallback when I will not pursue, but I insisted. In 2016, I entered the seminary college of the Redemptorists in Cebu. It was not easy. So much adjustments, yes. Nevertheless, my stay in formation in those college years were very fruitful. It was in that time as well that the fire of becoming a missionary really kindled, being immersed in various communities in the Philippines. After graduating in college, we were given the chance to choose based on our self-assessment whether we go to postulancy or Lumindo Magente or to work for a year. I was recommended to work. I had some things to work on in myself. God wanted me to work out some aspects that deemed necessary if I wanted to follow him in this missionary life. The best option for it to get dressed was to work in outside structured formation, outside the center. I didn't see such wisdom in the beginning. I was disappointed. There were a lot of questions in me at the time. Much more that I had to endure the difficulty of looking for a job in Cebu and fulfilling all those requirements. It was a world I knew so little. But later on, I saw its wisdom, why God has asked me to undergo all of those. Thanks be to Him. I worked as a Catholic life formation teacher in a Chinese Catholic school in Cebu. It was there that I was able to be helped in working out what I needed to work out in myself. It surely became a learning experience for me in many ways. After a year, with discernment and trust, I applied to proceed to be the structured formation again, to be back with the Redemptorists. I was sent to the Magete for postulancy. There, I have been exposed in various ministries of the Redemptorist province of Cebu. I went to the Sakada immersion in Negros, joined the retreat ministry in Bacolod, the popular mission in Tacloban. All of those experiences aided me to be convinced that perhaps this is really God wanted me to do for the rest of my life. Since then, I continued my formation. I went to Davao for my novitiate, and after a year, I professed my vows. And since then, I continually persevered in God's grace, and now a third-year junior professed Redemptorist. Friends, many years have passed since I first entered the seminary formation. As a 16-year-old lad here in Davao City, I entered the seminary in Cebu with hopes and inner desire to follow the Lord. Looking back, it wasn't easy. It was a ride of straight and turns, rough and smooth, pauses and leaps. Yet one thing is certain: God, whom I believe has called me, kept me moving, and it was all worth it. You may wonder, what was extraordinary from my vocation story? Nothing spectacular. Everything seems to be so ordinary. But it was in the ordinariness of my experience that I felt and discovered my vocation. It was in the ordinariness of my experience that I learned to grow. Above all, it was in the ordinariness of my experience that I discovered what God had called me to. What started as an attraction became a dream, and now becoming a reality with the extraordinary grace of God at work. Who knows? It may also be in the ordinariness of your experience that you will discover your vocation wrapped with grace extraordinary. As I've always prayed, Lord, as you have granted me the grace and the desire to offer this, may you also grant me the grace to fulfill it. Amen. So I hope, so may it be. Thank you, and